Okay, so I was going to be doing a band prediction, but we just got this leaked to us by Shiraha, um, and this is supposed to be a puzzle for what seems to be the banners. Unfortunately, it's pretty obvious when you actually look at it. I think so. I think the only hard one was like for me for like this one. I think it's like the only one that I had to like look at for a little bit, but yeah, after looking at more, I got it. Okay, so I just did 3 videos before this, so I'm a bit tired, but yeah, this is going to be what our rerun should look like for 4.0. I believe all this will happen except for maybe like I'm like 50%. I'm like 50% like iffy on one of them, but like we'll get to there when we get there. Okay, so this first phase is supposed to be Yao Guang. That's obvious. And these are the characters. If you don't recognize them, here are the characters. So in order, it should be Hislin's, which I'm not really too surprised over. Hislin's need a rerun at some point down the line. After that is Black Swan. Makes sense, buff character. Again, I was saying like she's either gonna go in the standard or rerun, so we'll have to see. I was like she might. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but she's in the banner, so cool. And then Serja is rerunning as well. Pretty interesting that she's in the same feed as Hislin's. I think it's pretty interesting, but not all surprising, like in the grand scheme of things. So that's mainly phase 1, as you can tell. Phase 2 is a lot of red. So phase 2 is a little bit more like on the nose, I think. And I was right on at least one on a couple of them. So Sparky is obviously going to be in phase 2. Then Evernight is making a comeback. Pretty interesting that they're actually going to be rerunning these. I mean, obviously every character in here is going to get at least one rerun, but man, it's going to be really hard to sell Evernight in a elation meta unless they bring back Castorisa Cyrene, but even then, I don't know. After that is going to be Sparkle, which I mean makes sense. Sparkle was Sparky's best partner, so there was no way they weren't going to show up in the same patch. It was even hard for me to believe they wouldn't be in the same phase. And the last one, after so long, RAPPA is finally getting her first rerun. Listen. There are characters who have had a banner longer than she has, right? Like in time wise, but everyone has at least had one rerun. This is going to be her first rerun in ages. If we pull it up, that's not how you spell his. That's not how you spell his site. If we pull up the gotcha banners, she came out way back in 2.6. They actually, yeah. She came out way back in 2.6, and she hasn't dropped since. So it's going to be what 4, 6, 8. Yeah, it was been 10 patches without her. So it's going to be 10 and a half patches, and then she's finally going to make a finally come back. Yeah, like that's insane. 10 patches for her to come back. Technically 11, but it's on the 11th patch she's showing up. It's absolutely insane that she's taking this long to come back. It really is. Like, man. Yeah. At this point, the only character that doesn't have a rerun at this point, outside of Dahlia, who just came out, is going to be Dong Hung. Dong Hung hasn't gotten a rerun yet, but he was free, so and he's preservation, so I think they're going to be a bit more, like, question me, like, iffy on him on his release. We'll have to see. So, yeah. Here are the banners. I'm not really against Moses. The only one I'm, like, kind of iffy on is Hislin's and Black Swan, because these two are good with Kafka. And if you don't have Kafka, it's really hard to sell these two, right? That's why I was kind of iffy when I saw Evernight here. I think they should have brought back Kafka again. I really do. I mean, would it have been too soon? Yes, but in this sense, it feels kind of weird to drop these two. Black Swan was definitely going to drop. I was like certain she was going to drop, like 80% certain she was going to drop. It's been a while. When was her last rerun? Back in 2.5? Was it actually? Has it been that long? Yeah, 2.5, okay. Yeah, like, so she was definitely going to get reruns, but she's getting buffed, so that's no surprise. But Hislin and Serja, while they do need reruns, I don't know if I'm really comfortable with dropping Hislin's Black Swan in the same patch without Kafka in the same patch. So that probably means Kafka is going to come out probably in 4.1 again, just to warrant this, right? Because if you don't get these two, if you don't get Kafka, these two are just kind of meh, in my opinion. Not bad, just meh. Sarah's gonna be kind of a hard sell in my opinion. The only character that can realistically use her again still is Final and Anaxa, and neither of them are rerunning here, so this is also gonna be a pretty hard sell. So honestly, we'll go. Actually, I'll talk about it later. Phase 2 is actually a bit more promising. Sparksy is a really good sub DPS / main DPS for the time being, and Sparkle is our best partner, so that was definitely going to happen. Rappa is finally getting a rerun, and this is directly after the big break patch. Should she have dropped the break patch? Yes, I don't know why she didn't, but it's too late now. We're past that point now. So this is, I still wouldn't say it's great to drop her. Like obviously she needs it, right? But it's really hard to sell Rappa when she is just an inferior break character. So there's that. And Evernight, I mean, like again, she needed the rerun, obviously, but how are you going to, like, a lot of these characters are really hard to sell you on when they need other characters. Like, if you don't have highest scene, like, or casteries to, like, with Evernight, it's really hard to use, realistically, right? Rappa, I mean, if you like the character, go ahead, but yeah, it's really hard to sell. Hissens is fine, I think, to some extent. Black Swan is obviously going to happen. Serja is also a pretty hard sell. This is going to be a very hard sell for reruns, I think, right? Because, like, why would you summon Serja over Yaoguang when Yaoguang is arguably more usable universally than Serja is? I'm not saying she is universal, I'm saying she's more universally usable than Serja is. So if you ask me what the plan is, again, if I said it before, if you do not like Elation, completely skip Yaoguang and Sparksy. I don't see the need for them if you don't like the team setup. There is what it is. If you have Kafka, but not Black Swan, this is probably the best chance to do it. She is now really good with the buff. I think she's now more usable. Her dot's actually not cringe. Hislins is still a necessary character for dot. So if you don't have her, pick her up. I might go for Lycone. I'm very hesitant on it because I gotta get Yaoguang, Lycone, her, Sparksy, and Lycone. Like, it's like, I'm getting a lot. So I might skip out on Lycone, but she can work with that Lycone, so it's fine. Sparkle is, if you're going for Sparksy, Sparkle is, for now, a must, for now. She was buffed just for Sparksy, but when we get more Elation characters, I think it's gonna be like, oh, you don't need her as much anymore, right? Unless you want to make her main DPS, then yeah, go ahead, but... Rappa is a really hard sell. Well, but she did need a rerun, so I'm fine with this. I think she should get a rerun last patch, but this is fine. They really should have put... This might be a broken record. They should have put Sunday instead of Serja, right? And then put Serja with this 3.8 2-week extension. Honestly, that's just me though. That's personally just me though. Take it how you will. Take it how you will, right? So yeah, if you're going for Elation, summon for Yaoguang at the very minimum. Sparksy is going to be most likely a sub DPS moving forward, so take that as you will. Yai Sakura would definitely be the one that takes her place as main DPS, so there's that. Dot is going to be pretty hard to sell as of right now, assuming Kafka is not next patch, but I assume she is in 4.1. I am like, there's no way they drop both of these and not Kafka. I'm like, it's really hard for me to believe that, right? Serja is gonna be, I think it's between Serja and Everett as the hardest sell, I think, right? Probably Serja, in my opinion, because Finon is not bad, but he's like below both Elation and Premier Remembrance, so. Rappa is also, no, actually, no, I lied, this is the hardest sell, right? Well, it's necessary, it's a really hard sell, so. There's that. And yeah, and then Sparks is necessary. That's what I think. I'm tired. I've been making videos. This is like the 4th video I'm making to just today. So fun. So yep, that'll be it for this video. Let me know what you think of these reruns. I'm like 90% okay with them. I'm just very iffy on the Serja drop, but that's just me, right? No, nothing. Like, I get why. I just don't like it personally, but it's fine. That'll be it for this video. I'm so tired, but once this is out, I can be done. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.